help. Otherwise, I'll forget. Um, there's an event called the Shine Seminars coming up. I think I mentioned this before. It's an Ascension festival. And I've got a discount code for it if anyone's interested in going. And it is in a place that's somewhere near Wales. I believe it's
Near Forest of Dean.
there you go. So if you want the discount code, it's Healer 15. And you'll get, I think it's like 15% off. So just take note of that if you do want it. That's the
Yeah,
code.
thank
You're
you.
all welcome. There's got Laura Eisenhower's going to be there. You've got Cyrus doing a talk. There's loads of people, kind of really great people doing talks. Kelly Marie Kerr, I really want to see her talk. She does really interesting talks on Kundalini and the raising of the chrism oil as well. So that's all going off there. And I think there's a package to get all of your food included as well, if you don't want to cook. And I think it's
And
all like
camping.
vegan, yeah, vegan, gluten-free food. I'm obviously going to pack loads of gummy worms from Marks and Spencer's because they are vegan. So yeah, if you want some too, I'll hide them in my tent, but we won't tell the others. So yeah, let us know. And yeah, other than that, I've also got a course coming out. It's just a mini course that I'm kind of starting to do module-based things that will be on my website very soon as well. The first one is the field preparation course. It's not live, it is a downloadable one. I just don't know how to get it on my website just yet. So that will be up there very soon. Um, and it's also going to be pay as you feel as well, for this one until I kind of figure out how to do once I've got my actual proper course with a diploma at the end of it up and running. Um, Baby steps. Right. Lovely,
Well done,
guys.
though.
Yeah,
Glad you're
thank
getting
you.
out. Yeah, yeah.
Thank you. I mean, it's getting
Thank
there
you.
now. I've got to do my second one, but I want to kind of get it as affordable for everyone as possible. Obviously, it's not going to have the live aspect to it, which the main course will. That one's going to be really in depth, but this one is to kind of get people into the pathway of kind of able to do what I do, but or how I kind of go about and do it. So yeah, work in progress, but yeah,
Mm,
times are changing. So
good.
on that note, guys, it's lovely to see you all and happy Lionsgate, or the starting of it, let's say 2 days in. Energy's already kind of creeping up, but this time it doesn't feel kind of like horrific like last year. Last year just went so hard so quickly, and I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna die. But I live to tell the tale. So yeah, so let's get into it, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and mute you all, and just gonna sit by taking a nice couple of breaths. Inhale, exhale. Nice and slow. Settling into the body, raising up protections. Interconnecting with the Mother Arc, Aquamarine Mother Arc. and having this mother arc interconnect with the Roisha pillar. Just off the coast of Sierra Leone. There were actually like 13 Roisha pillars. Um, and as we connect in with that, with the mother arc, just seeing the body spin through the central pillar. And just allowing the light body just to spin through that central pillar, interfacing with the mother arc. So what we can see here, what I can see here is like all of this spiralization and then metallic gray silver rings breaking off from the physical form. Breaking off from the light body. Reverberations or twangs of mechanical artificial frequency breaking itself apart. Which is presenting as very hard, restrictive consciousness that fundamentally kind of constricts the field, the mental field and the emotional field. So we're just going to run a really nice light through that just to open it out. Ayekia Maltaburi Sanai Sanai Ya Okurisha Atia. Opening out that central pillar, the fields feel very kind of gridlocked. So we're just going to sit and breathe from the core of the earth up into the root. Hold the breath, and we're then going to expand the breath out through the higher energy centers. Okay, and as we're kind of observing into this, we've got auroric plasma coming in and just interfacing between the layers of the AI within the artificial intelligence, restricting and locking up the mind or the mental thought pattern. So it looks like it's kind of interlaced or interwoven with thought patterns, creating a kind of congealment or a lack of movement within thought, which is then amplified by emotion. And as the auroric plasma is going in, this is changing the structure of the ability to think. And everything that we're kind of working through this Lionsgate is around breaking down artificial intelligence choice points and connections. And in this moment, we're just claiming back our right to think, claiming back our right to explore concepts mentally without being kind of pushed or trapped within kind of restrictive emotional charges. Solar plexus unlocking, third eye unlocking as we're gaining more awareness of it. Okay, and this has then kind of just started to where we're within the pillar. This has started to drop us down into the gate. Jag kunde göra massor med något snack. Jag kunde känna er dåra. And just re-clearing out of the Sierra Leone, or off the coast of Sierra Leone. Roisha Pela Diokri Amas Monasana Yogada Janayodora, releasing from the subconscious mind. Bringing back in auroric light plasma, restructuring and recoding, updating the crystal. Okay, and then phasing out layers of the black goo, programmable consciousness. And this starts to then open out as the ringlets of metal silver. As this is opening out, this is then presenting as like a black metallic spider, a little bit like the crop circle that appeared as a spider earlier this year in South England. So as this is popping open and opening out, the geometric patterning is starting to unlock from the subconscious mind that is connected to the Borga. Interesting. So the Borga kind of victimizer patterning. Unsealing. And what I'm kind of seeing here is the breakdown of this Borga kind of consciousness, which then ties back into the multiversal God world drama. So as it's breaking down within our own subconscious layer, this is starting to really break down the seed point of the victim victimizer consciousness, the victim victimizer programming. Just run light through this and just claim back your space, claim back your sovereignty. And through the expression of source, through the God worlds, the highest point, this is then expanding back down into the space where this patterning kind of existed, bypassing the parenthesala matrix and going straight into the Aquinas, but into those that are holding the patterning. But then this is also expanding back out into the parenthesala and then the Luisala. Source light expansion. The transference of source field coding back into the organic template as it starts to usher out, delineate, and reconstruct the victim victimizer patterning. which then just starts to feel like radiation, which we're going to send back into the Roshapilla gates. And as if we're literally there, all of the jaw, all of the face, all of the knotting in the muscular fascial system starts to unlock and just really loosens up here. It's just focusing in with the breath. And just allowing that bliss tone, complete security and safety, divine support of source, reconstructing the fight flight response to being victimized and being a victimizer, the fight and the flight, the challenge and the defense. And then the planet just begins to pulsate, which has got the kind of phantom overlay that's presenting here as well. So as the Roisha pillars on all of these, the 13 Roisha pillars all begin to kind of move this consciousness out. So there are kind of multiple Roishas, the last one, the 13th one being near the Canary Islands. Just pulsing metallic, the artificial intelligence, the engineered victimizer, controller, waveform patterning from the phantom through the Roishas, connecting into the source field, absorbing the information into the source field, dissolving it and disintegrating it. Surrendering to the moment. And then within this kind of field of artificial intelligence, machinery, programming, basically all starting to process itself in alignment with source, where it can identify the artificial components generating separation and splitting of consciousness, splitting of society. We're just going to surrender, allow it to be, knowing that this is for the best. Holding the knowing that this is reconstructing the consciousness within us, within the collective, within the planetary field, and in turn, the solar universal field that generates repeated rips of separation to our unified field structure. And to those specifically coming back into alignment with the unified field, we're here to kind of reconstruct this. Bringing in more of these auroric plasma light codes that are complete breakdown. All of the kind of compartmentalized jumping from scene to scene, fear response, flight response of trying to fix and organize and control things from the past, from the future, from what's in front of you. When it always comes back to peace, trust and knowing that all is well, all is safe. Bringing through the opalescent diamond light to recomposite with the elemental kingdom. There's one image in particular, one video that's playing in particular that's presenting as a bumblebee with one of those like honey stirrers, those wooden honey spoon things, whatever they're called. Looks like this honeybee has been kind of hybridized with that and still made to work, still made to produce the honey, but it's kind of secreting off this part of the wooden spoon simultaneously as it's connected to the bee. And it just feels like it's kind of mangled within its organic nature and then forced to be a role. So that would be kind of metaphoric, I suppose, where we can run light into that and just start to claim back the original organic structure, the original divine blueprint for it, versus what the artificial has intended for it to be and intended for it to do. So that would be like the organic plus the machine becomes one, which would be kind of transhumanist worker mind, hive mind, I suppose, and just start to rinse this out and start to dissolve out the coding of that. And as we go through the process, we think it into evolution, we think it into the awareness that it's not meant to be this way. Really honoring it and claiming it forwards here, running it through the Roisha pillars. Okay, we're getting to some kind of pulsation of AI template, a controller grid or a controller structure that's kind of overlaid within the seventh dimensional field, the planetary mind, personal mind. Let's expand light into that. So what we're going to just say that we can break through it, we can heal it, we can update it, and we're not going to be dictated by the impulses of frequency. Just say we can't. Because this grid thing, this electrical horizontal grid thing is basically trying to invert the ability to think and keep into kind of like a level of subservience. And we know we are so much beyond that. Connecting to your bodies and expanding your light from within. Bit uncomfortable. Just going to run some extra light vertically down through the pillar. This is coming in an aqua blue marine light through the body to create support. This is coming in as a high vibrational, emotional, loving charge of support. And just starting to unlock the crown. Clearing out the layers of reversal within this impulse, in this structure. And I'm wondering what's the easiest way to dismantle this. No, you could get mas manas na yogore shatia. Okay, so we've been brought to us a lion with the tuft of hair around its neck, or its mane, sorry, is presenting as like a fire mane. And it's kind of pulsing the fire mane backwards and forwards into the AI overlay, into the technology. And as this is occurring, the whole landscape around us is becoming very, very, very holographic and crystalline. And even within this space, there are kind of crystalline serpents that are coming forwards as well, that seem to be going to attack what looks like a wormhole, a black wormhole that has flecks of inversions in the green. So it's kind of like black with a green silhouette around the wormhole. And these serpents are now turning into that color as well and going back into the wormhole. So we want to just contain that space there. And just bring it up. And as the containment is placed around it, it begins to become isolated within this white diamond lilac crystalline cube. And just shrinking that cube right the way down. Expanding the source field through it. So as that cube went right the way down, it then transformed into what looked like a one-eyed chameleon. I suppose that could be a reference for kind of reptilian technology. Which we're just shrinking all the way down and just re-engaging with the source field to come back into the space. And as it does harmonic interface, sound tones begin to change the structure of the static within the grid. So that wormhole was connected into the planetary nervous system, which then in turn impacts our own, or the planetary nadial, I feel like is probably a more accurate terminology there. And we're just going to allow the source, or ask for the source, to rewire and update. And just creating the disconnection there, which is then turning all of the information outwards to the front, so we can see what's kind of been residing within this space. So it feels like a connection point between the fourth field and the seventh field. And within that space, we've got a lot more kind of like animals like crocodiles or chameleons or lizard-based kind of reptiles that we're just claiming back the ownership of the land. Okay, so as this is changing and opening, the artificial or the kind of the negative reversal and the implants begins to kind of dissolve and disintegrate, and the kingdom of heaven begins to expand and run through. And as it begins to dissolve out, that belief system gets targeted and triggers where we believe that we can't achieve something, can't achieve a goal, can't achieve a clearing or a healing due to the emotional threshold that is kind of dialed up here. We are claiming that we can, we are doing so, and we will always achieve our goals. Just rewiring that belief system, rewiring the brain and the field as it's moving into process. Which then comes back to the God worlds. And just allow this to phase through the Roisha. allow it to phase through back to update through the God world corridors and update with the Akasha Aya levels. Allowing the bliss tones to infuse with the chaos and rehabilitate into the pillars. Into the technology. Clearing through the shoulders, through the back, through the throat, impacting the lymph nodes, the thyroid. It's actually impacting the whole of the front side of the body, the front side fascia and the back side actually. And ending at the kind of solar plex, or highlighted through the solar plex really. Giving the shoulders a nice rotate, circle them round, just to allow the body just to loosen up. Bringing your attention and your focus to your sit bones with the breath and your consciousness down in these locations. And we really want to start anchoring the breath right the way down into the feet so we can start grounding in the body in these uncomfortable feelings, claiming your space. Just sending a reminder back there to I am going to be within my body and I'm not going to be pushed out of my body. I'm not going to be locked out of my body due to the frequencies. I'm taking ownership of my space. Allowing more of your light to embody. We want to anchor this down to the core of the earth. Again, sending the signal codes out as we claim our body, claim our territory, back to the AI warfare, back to the negative systems that we're not going to have our planet taken from us. We're not going to have our universal structure, our Vecca quadrant, our God worlds taken from us. This is our space, not theirs. And we're not going to be pushed around. Not going to be dominated by control of frequencies. Allowing all of the fight to be completely consumed in the heart. All of the defense. All of the reaction. To be accepted. Honoring every part of the process, but coming back to boundary and intention. I will not be pushed out of my body. I will not be controlled by dominating fear-based tactics or programming. I will not be forced out of my house and home. I do hold my own power. I am supported by Source. I am supported by the light. No demonic, artificial, extra-dimensional reversal system can impact me. They simply do not have the power to do so when I'm aligned to God. Knowing this now, the rainbow refracted prismatic light spheres interface within the organic intelligence of the ultra-dimensional and ultra-terrestrial ranges. Downloading the templates, downloading the key codes, downloading the activations, and the higher atom body, light body interfacing to expand further with the law of one and the unified field of one. Honoring any layers of grief and separation within these layers that have undertaken and seen the damage and destruction taking place. We want this to be honored, loved, and accepted for it to move in, because it's no longer winning anymore. They're no longer winning. So why do we need to kind of hold this grief? And it's more so about compassion for all sides of the systems. It's compassionate grief, seeing the whole structure where it had been damaged. It's very interesting. Just intending for this to download into your fields, into your awareness, to be able to see and feel and understand what these ultra terrestrials of the God worlds and beyond that are connected to the unified field of one see when they see this damage taking place, how heartbroken they are for us to go through that. Accepting that love into our hearts to train us and to teach us to override the victim victimizer, giving us the graces to step out of the cycle, step out of the behaviors, in order to be able to hold space for the harsher frequencies of war and polarity. In alignment with the unified field of one, the oneness, the wholeness that we are moving back to, that these Borga spider entities do not understand the concept of anymore, but allow it to run through them, allow it to run through their system, as we take out the conditioning and the programming within the victim victimizer patterning at the start that did not comprehend or understand. And downloading of the intelligence to be able to rise above warfare, rise above attacks, rise above these playouts, and still hold boundary to not be pushed around and not be controlled, not be manipulated. This is the download that is needed for overriding the artificial intelligence systems to hold a healthy boundary, recognize the corruption, and to bring light intelligence back in to the whole. Just take a moment there and just gradually allow yourself keep on focusing with the breath. as we run through embodiments. Creating a bridge from the ultra-terrestrial structure, this unified field of one structure, back down into our physical awareness. We're going to send it back through our own personal field, and we're also going to send it down through the Reuter pillars to interface within the planetary membrane. I'm going to go ahead and inhale, exhale there, and just gradually bring yourselves back to the presence. We're going to come into gratitude and thanks. And we're going to update through all fields, update through all localized grids, and update through the Unisci field and the field of one. When you're ready, just open your eyes. I'm just going to stop the recording now.